Hello, I will be streaming shortly. Bear with me. I'm just eating a sandwich. A quick little sandwich. Feel free while I'm preparing to ask any questions you want in the chat. If you put question in brackets, it will allow me to actually pick out the question and actually realize it's a question. I need some painkillers as well. I've got a bit of a headache. On the last bite of sandwich. Oh, I will take some painkillers real quick. Nom, 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 nom. Right. Going on. What am I doing? Oh, I'm going to tweet. We tweet out that I'm streaming, and then we'll be ready. I am live on twitch.tv/BoredGamer. Star Citizen Alpha 3.18. Hashtag Star Citizen. Hashtag, sorry, Octothorpe BoredGamer. Pin, yes, pin. Go on Discord. Telling Huntress that she's the best mod in the world, and I mean, that's because she PAs for me as well. She organises me, sometimes forcefully. Right. I think I'm ready. Hi. Oh, I've got. I hope that's not part of my sandwich. What is this? What is this gunk? I can't even see it. My camera can see it. Oh my god. Hi. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm a little bit podgy at the moment. Got a bit festively plump. I'm going to sort myself out after Christmas, although I am sort of fasting at the moment. Say that and had a sandwich. I'm going to probably go back on keto. But I like food. Hum nom nom. But I hope everyone else is having a great Christmas so far. And great holiday season. I know a lot of people are going to be starting their holidays today, if they haven't already. Obviously, we've got Christmas and the New Year. Videos will be, I don't know, maybe slightly interrupted based on... I like to do Star Citizen videos anytime I've got some free time and no one else is around to play games I want to play with. That's basically how I operate as a human. So, Christmas Day I'm cooking. I'm doing a lot of prep for Christmas food tomorrow as well. So we'll see what happens, I suppose. Probably have a load of videos. Zin's been working on a variety of things. She's also been trying to get 3.18 footage, which she has been having low success rate with. So she had to, earlier today, navigate through Horizon without any UIs. You go, oh, what do you mean? Well, no elevator UIs, no ASOP UIs. So she had to spawn a ship, get an elevator, get in a hangar, move around without any of that. And so it's just sort of like randomly tapping at the screen until it works. So yeah. And the game has been relatively unkind to her for trying to get her footage. So big up to Zin for trying. She's got a bit of footage. We are going to be doing loads of 3.18 footage and gameplay and all that sort of jazz once we have a bit more of a stable 3.18 build. I know there's going to be a lot of questions, and I will preempt the main one, which will be, when do we think we're getting 3.18 open PTU? I think there is a plan, if possible, to get it out today. Definitely by the end of the year, but hopefully later today. I don't think it's really ready even for an open PTU, but it's hard to tell, seeing that the way they're testing is very focused on US servers, with being pretty overloaded as well. So you sort of have to bear that in mind. So people that are like, where's 3.18 live? 3.18 live is coming to us in January at some point. Okay, Alchemist, thank you very much for remaining a BoredGamer member. 17 months on YouTube, you monster. Thank you very much, sir. I always appreciate your points of view. Some people are waiting for live. I mean, I will play the latest build of Star Citizen just to mess around and get footage as a content creator. That's what I want to do until the game's fully released, and then I want to do more in-game stuff. It'll be interesting to see what we're going to get, but when we're going to get the Open PTU. Like, is it going to be live today? That looks like it was the plan. They don't... Open PTU. Is there a problem with it being super buggy? Well, yeah, a little bit, but it's not as if the live build is going to be affected by that. So them releasing it Open PTU today still looks likely to me. Did you ever gotten any of the new Dragonlance stuff? No, I have not. What is it? I'm only cursorily like understand what Dragonlance stuff is. But no, I have not. I don't know much about Dragonlance. I mean, I play D&D and tabletop RPG stuff and loads of different games and board games and things. I'm not fully versed in the whole lore of D&D. Any good? Something I don't know. People give me recommendations for stuff to play. Everything seems to be working. Cool. Is it Open PTU yet? Not at time of recording? Live? Not at time of live. Let him enjoy his sandwich. It was a chicken sandwich. It was some leftover chicken from a whole chicken I had the other day. Do you think salvage is going to be the new meta money maker? I don't think so. So it's certainly not at the moment, in my opinion. I think they're going to want to try and balance roughly salvage and mining, and probably cargo hauling all to be around the same amount of money, and maybe cargo hauling slightly less. But that's going to be based on what you actually take, your risk and reward, and your leveraging. So that's my expectation of where they'll balance it in the short term. Premier Boris and Happy Jon Snow, thank you so much. Insert clever quip here. Bored is sexy boy. I don't know. I ain't got any clever quips. Life is hard at the moment. I've got a bit of a headache. I'm tired. Christmas. 3.18 is hard to get footage on and get the gameplay stuff I want. What do you think about the merchantman ship? It's one of my favourite ships on paper, at the very least. I'm not a massive fan of the Banu aesthetic, but I do love the Banu merchantman still. I'm looking forward to it, having a floating hauler marketplace shop and sort of shopping mall all sort of merged together. It's cool. Red wine for the headache. Red wine would potentially kill me in the very short term. When will Squadron 42 be released? We don't know. Hopefully end of next year, but it could be any time. I've expected it to be released at the end of the year since 2016. So, Bindat, thank you very much for the donation. That is genuinely appreciated, sir. And some sort of rhino doing hype. Hippo? Is it a hippo hype? Yeah, I suppose it hasn't got a horn on. Will we see more Vulcan in 3.18? Yes. No. Well, Gen 12 renderer stuff, yes. Some Vulcan stuff started to be talked about, and you might see some Vulcan code. It's not gonna be anything player facing for Vulcan. Yeah. But Gen 12 renderer stuff which is the platform for Vulcan, yes. It's salvage a bit broken at the moment. Expect that stuff to get sorted with people trying to salvage their own ships and stuff. I would expect them to actually make it a crime, things like that. Are there any new in-game Bible ships that were only real money before? I haven't actually checked. There should be some additional ships / vehicles that are available to purchase in-game in 3.18. I will go and check out what those actually are, though. How much do you think the Vulture's price will go up? Probably 10%. How much has combat been slowed down in 3.18? Hasn't been affected at all. If anything, it's been sped up. Sort of how deadly it is because of ballistics being able to penetrate shields a lot better. There's no... In 3.18, combat hasn't really slowed, from what I can tell. Will we see players using escorts this patch? So, 3.18, because of the soft destruction, because of the concentration of criminal gameplay and the tweaks and changes to that, because of boarding actions, I think that it's focused sort of piracy and outlaw gameplay into certain areas of the game, and it makes it more viable to do as a full loop, rather than as random murder, death, kill sort of stuff, yeah? So, if you are doing big cargo runs, I would recommend you get an escort, or escorts. But also you could probably just pay off pirates now as well, if you see them, because they're going to want to try and disable you, and then take your cargo. So, it does make it makes it more viable to do. It makes it actually legitimate gameplay. Can the Vulture fit easily into any onboard ship hangars that you know of? It doesn't fit in any current ship hangars that are currently in game, I don't believe. No. It's not a small ship. It's relatively small. It's not a snub. When is 3.18 going to be available on the Open PTU? Hopefully by the end of the day. That said, it is a harsh mistress, the PTU at the moment. It is hard to get online, hard to log in. There's queues, although that seems to be solved, at least today. There's lots of problems with UIs and elevators and public transport. Yeah. How much is the Quanta system Tony Z was working on increased in 3.18? There is no specifically mentioned Quanta stuff in 3.18. That said, there might be some stuff tied to it or some evolution of it they just haven't told us about. What point do Rex despawn? I don't know when they actually despawn. I think they stay there for quite a long time. I haven't seen anything despawn. You can find salvage Rex, salvage sites at around Yella and at Lagrange asteroid field points, so near the space stations. And there's asteroid fields there, sort of just scan for them. Boop, you'll find them like you would find minerals and minables. You can also pretty much salvage any ship's carcass as well, which is pretty cool. Well, not points of interest ones. Destroy a ship, you can salvage it. What else have we got here? They fixed the inventory loading forever. I'm in the latest P2 patch, the T patch. Do they have a fix for that? Bugs fix. If it sorts some of the mobilglass stuff out and the vehicle manager stuff out. They fixed the guards the security post Korea not having loot. Reinforcements appearing properly. HUDs breaking on some ships. Bed logouts. On travel stuff. No, it still looks like they've got some issues with interacting with the boxes, I think. But it's not listed here in known issues. It's not listed in known issues. It must have been fixed. Or it's likely to have been fixed in the latest couple of patches, and I just didn't notice. Or I read it and it hasn't gone into my brain. Christmas is a tiring time. So expect the personal inventories to have been fixed in the latest PTU patch. You expect 3.18 to get stable before the end of the year. Not stable, open PTU, so still unstable. Can you send season's greetings and cheer to Zin for us? Yes, of course I will. Once I finish this stream, we're going to go play a... I'm going to chill for a bit, have a bit of chat, and play a French cyberpunk game called Bonding Ambivalence. When I was trying bed logging, it was still erratic. There were infinite load problems and lots of issues with it. It may have got significantly better though. Do you think them giving the Vulture Reclaimer the ability to craft multi-tool and attachments is a good thing? Would you prefer crafting from another source? I would love them to be able to manufacture multi-tools and salvage attachments. That would be useful. So you can't really do the salvage gameplay but on the Vulture or the Reclaimer without a gravity tool. So bear that in mind as well. Oh yeah, so there's some cool Luminalia gifts. So you can grab your Luminalia gifts up until the 10th of January. You basically just go on the RSI website and then the Luminalia page, and then click on each of the days. And each day you'll unfortunately have to click on and then apply the Luminalia code. Beep, beep. Apply the code. Get the item. There's some cool stuff. You have to do it for each individual one. It's a little annoying. And there's not just a claim all button. Maybe next year, yeah? There's some cool stuff there. The weapons, especially, and I think the Finley and the Pico, all very cool. No armor. There's a flight suit set. I think some people like that stuff. I mean, it's all usable in game. Pretty cool. We've got Jumptown as well starting today. The last of Jumptown 2.0. Yeah, so ships certainly. So the Reclaimer and the Vulture definitely need accessible, easy to use racks for multi-tools and attachments. Yes, totally agree. Because you're going to be using the salvage attachment. You're going to be using the gravity attachment. Yeah. Do you think Vulkan in conjunction with the Gen 12 rental would be adequate to run VR in the future? So Vulkan is essential to getting the game into the state where VR is more plausible. I don't know if 3.18 fixes stuttering issues. I do not know. For Intel 12 and 13 gen stuff, I do not know at all. Expect 3.18 live mid to end January. It takes them a while to sort of get back into the office. There is going to be a full wipe with 3.18. So that is reputation, that's Alpha UEC, that's ships. Escape-pods do not work, as far as I'm aware, in any ship, unless there's a magical hidden escape pod. However, the underlying systems that will allow escape pods are now in with 3.18. And what else have we got? As 3.18 managed to fix the issue with the microstar runner that drop you out. So there's a load of fixes with the microstar runner, including ones with the pilot seat. So hopefully that's all sorted. What do you expect in in 2023? So I think in the Q1 we'll just have a more evolved 3.18 patch. In the Q2 I think we'll see 3.19. And end of the year, I think Cloud Imperium are targeting 4.0. So that's typically how I'm going to characterize the year. I'm hoping that we see at CitizenCon, which is going to be a physical event next year. I hope they go, and we're announcing a release date for Squadron 42 the year after. I hope that's what they're going to do, and then start like a traditional ad campaign for that. That would be cool. They can do that. So yeah. There's a load of stuff and features that I would expect to see. They're working on a load of new combat stuff with the master modes and the resource management system. See server meshing and pyro. These are sort of like the main focuses. Vulcan. If you get shot down on a planet, does the soft death work there? So what happens is that if you get when you take a certain amount of damage, you'll go into soft destruction mode. Now, if you take a huge amount of damage, basically as the last shot, you'll just explode, or large amount of damage, the last shot. When you're in soft death, if you take much more damage, you will then still explode. So if you get soft death, soft destruction, as you're near a planet, and then sort of float in the planet's orbit or already in the atmosphere, and then hit the ground when you're in soft destruction mode, you will explode. Yep, because you've taken too much more damage. It is possible for you to hit the ground and be in a soft destruction mode when you hit the ground, because that's the right amount of damage. Bam, you've hit the ground. Well, actually, soft destruction, and you've crash landed and survived. Have I seen that happen yet? No. It can only happen currently on paper. But yes, that's how the system works. And when do you think we'll see the Vulcan ship in game? So they've been doing some stuff with the drones, but I don't know when we're going to see the Vulcan in. Looks a lot like Master Chief, that Vulcan from the front. Will the Vulture be purchasable in-game for dollars? In 3.18, yes, you can buy it with money, real money. With Alpha UEC, so expect it for first or second quarter next year. Most likely end of Q2. What we got here? Boop. And if oh, do I excited for Baldur's Gate 3 in August 2023. Is that its release date? Then yes, I've completed my Descent to Avernus D&D campaign, which was the sort of prelude to that. And I was not going to do any Baldur's Gate 3 until that. But if it's August, then I probably won't do the early access. Even I'll wait until the release. We know what the next core gameplay might be. Well, the evolution of cargo refactor, so cargo and that sort of stuff. Obviously, mining and salvage are require a bit of tweaking, economy stuff. So I would say probably bounty hunting version 2 looks to be the next major gameplay loop. I've not toured the new UK offices yet. No. The gifts aren't taken away January 10th. You just can't claim them anymore. So you'll get them as long as you claim them by January 10th. You'll have them on your account semi-permanently. Will you and Zin be attending CitizenCon in LA in 2023? Maybe. So we'll look at the cost. We'll look at the viability. And the other thing is that we'll look at the coverage that we could potentially do if we didn't go versus what we could do if we did go. So how viable is it and how sensible is it? Yeah. We could probably, it's possible that CIG will want to take some content creators there, and they might sort of invite us and pay for it. If not, we can probably easily, and that's just a random, that's not even been suggested, but it has been by me now. We could probably, I'm talking about cost-wise, if we were worried about affording it, and we could probably crowdfund it if we had to, or go, donations for this month are going into the plane fund. I don't think it's that expensive to get a return to America at the moment. Maybe is the answer to that. Can you re-enable ships by repair items? So, no, once a ship is in the soft destruction state in 3.18, they are unrepairable. All the doors open, basically the power doesn't work, so you can't re-enter any seats. Yeah. NPCs are killed on a ship that is soft destructioned. When will Spirit Series be released? So I think it's going to be Q2 of next year. That's what it looks like to me. If you look at the current roadmap, there's a lot of work on the Spirits that's currently going on. Oh my god, I missed a trick with Father Nordmus eating browser cookies. That is a great idea. Bush Doctor has gifted a load of subs to people. Tile Turtle, Shade of Axes. Sorry, Yeti, Ranch and Merc Smitty. You've all been forcibly subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much, Bush Doctor. That is, you're a beautiful boy. And it's very much appreciated. Star. What do we got? What have we got here? Yes, the Vulture will be sold once 3.18 goes live. On the website, but not in-game. Obviously, it will be flyable in-game. Any specific features you think you want to see that we will see for sure next year? No, nothing for sure. But very likely, Vulcan, the resource management system, them working towards physical components, gold standard for sort of ships all being a different level of standardization, but all ships will sort of hit that. Yeah, hopefully physical components. Hopefully at the end of the year, jump points, 4.0, pyro, server meshing. You may still get stuck in tables. What? Have they nailed down why random crashes happen? Well, there's a million different reasons. So no, but yes. They can't nail that down, ever. Based on the very nature of the... if you melt or upgrade a ship that you had during Ship of the Year, you keep the Ship of the Year skin. If you melt anything... So, anything that is part of that package, when you melt it, will get melted. Okay? If it's separate on your account, it's a separate entry entirely, not as part of the same package, then you should keep it. If you upgrade a ship and it has a skin and part of the package, you do technically keep everything that was on the package other than the hull of the ship. Do you think we'll have beards in 2023? No. I think that the hair and DNA and facial tech stuff is still... they're still working on facial hair, on different hairstyles. Do you think Hadnite and other minables will be able to be put into boxed cargo. That will be a thing in the future, yes, but not for 3.18. So I think 3.19, we're going to see Q2 of next year. That's my expectation. End of Q2. Should we expect quantum economy in Q2, Q3 of next year? No, God, no. Expect some additions to it, potentially. I mean, they're working on it. It's a big focus. I'm expecting the Spirit series to release Q2 of next year. You can see on the roadmap that it's getting work now. I thought the nose dip had already been fixed with the Corsair. What else have we got? How much do you think a full Rakama will make? That is a good question. I don't know currently. I've not tried it. I also expect the value of salvage to change a reasonable amount during the PTU to live. Once PES is implemented and working as intended, what are the next few steps towards server meshing? They need to get the replication layer sorted, shard affinity stuff done. They are working on pretty much everything else. There's not that much left to do. A lot of the microservices and the connecting of the servers properly. And redundancy and all that sort of jazz. You can grab the Ares Inferno in game at the moment. Right, in game. But you're certainly about to buy any combat ships you want in May with the Fleet Week. What are your thoughts on Starfield? I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be playing Starfield. At the moment, it looks quite... it just looks like a more open Mass Effect for me. With some sort of little bits of Fallout sort of mixed in with it. I like the idea that you can build your own ship. What do you think of the Boxmaker salvage gameplay loop? If it works, will we see more box makers like maybe on the Rock? What exactly do you mean? I like Salvage's gameplay loop. I mean, it does need a reasonable amount of balancing. Distances on Pyro look much better. Yeah, the system's huge. Aren't small ships going to struggle to get around? Yes, they are. Which is why they wanted to have the ability to be refueled by the Starfarer. But it is going to incentivize people to take larger ships. Are there any differences in performance in 3.18? So there's lots of reported differences, but at the moment, PTU is buggy, and it's hard to get sort of a good comparison. Really, we want someone that's bottlenecked at the CPU, but it's got a good GPU to mess around and say how much better it is, because that's what the Gen 12 renderer stuff is supposed to help alleviate. Can you escape a soft death ship with another ship? For example, escape a soft death Cutlass with the Dragonfly? Yes. Yeah. You can escape a soft death ship. Yes. As a player, yes. NPCs get killed, but players, they survive. Do you think they'll add more medical gameplay in 2023? Yeah, expect it to evolve a little bit. And what else have we got? Just joined. How much is a full load Vulture so far? I'm not currently sure. I've only messed around with it a bit, and those prices will change significantly. So typically, it's not sort of worth talking about. But we will check out those sort of things once we have the live release. I think we check it out before, to be honest. Will they release any more PTU patches for the holiday? We might see one later today, and we might even see Open PTU. Do you think 3.19 will be this time last update before 4.0? Yes. Well, I mean, we might see a 3.19.1. Like Q3 is what I'm expecting. /2. Anything else there? Last year, I asked you about Firesprite and Theatres of War. Is it still CIG's fault? It's not released. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely Cloud Imperium's fault. Theatres of War is not released. I mean, they reprioritized and changed stuff. So, a lot of the Theatres of War stuff effectively went into the Siege of Orison and a load of FPS updates for the game. So, those teams, we sort of moved on to that stuff until... I believe that the line from Cloud Imperium was until we have networking in a better place and the animations in a better place. So, and some of the core tech. So will they go back to Theatres of War and actually do it at some point? Yes, that's still the plan. Is it something that they sort of dropped the ball on? Yeah, I mean, I wanted Theatres of War. They should, and then they sort of reprioritized it to, yeah, we'll get Siege of Orison in, we'll get all this stuff in, and we don't want to lose any of the work that we've been doing, and we still want to keep that same team together. Now, I do think that Cloud Imperium could have more optimally used Firesprite. I don't know exactly when Firesprite finished working on it. If it's something that they could have gone, how much of is it their fault that Theatres of War wasn't done? I think it's more Star Citizen Code fault. Whatever happened to the fabled Titan suit? We're still waiting for it. The Titan suits are the sort of Iron Man-esque suits that can carry big guns that we know are appearing in Squadron 42. That I desperately want in the persistent universe. Firesprite was bought by Sony, but they had no choice to move on. But I suspect that their contract had fully ended before that happened. Yeah? It wasn't renewed, so we say. Board, I really hope they hold on OpenPTU unless they can pull a miracle patch today. So, totally agree with you. There's a load of problems in 3.18, but opening it up to OpenPTU isn't going to affect the live universe. As long as it's stable enough for people to play without smashing their heads on the table, which admittedly, at the moment, due to some reasons, it is pretty bad. Now, I do think that some of those problems with the current PTU can be alleviated by them opening it up to more servers and opening it up to more regions. You find it harder and harder each year to create justifications as CIG? No. Like, so I look at what they're saying and what they're doing and respond to that. Do things change? Do they drop the ball? Do they get things wrong? Yes, of course they do. Are there prioritizations and reprioritizations a fucking mystery sometimes? Like, why have you done that? Why haven't you just talked to us earlier about something or made it clearer from the start? Why have you reprioritized this thing to this thing? That is inefficiencies. That is problems of management. That's occasionally problems of management, occasionally problems with the text just not there. We thought we could do it. We just can't do it yet. So there are certainly issues there, and I'll be responsive to those. I want to create news on Star Citizen by covering what they're saying. I don't want to go and sort of make it up along the way. And because of that, I'm very responsive to what they say and very sort of reasonable to what they say, rather than sort of being super critical. So that is my bias. I do like Star Citizen, but I like the project and the community and even the devs. But it's very easy for me to create justifications for Star Citizen because they'll just go, we reprioritize stuff. I mean, is it a good justification? Is it a good excuse from them? Well, not all the time, God no. Do you think we'll see a revamping of the personal inventory system in 2023? So they have tweaked personal inventory in 3.18, so there are more filters and it's easier to do stuff. There is a MobiGraphs rework coming, there is UI reworks coming, and they can certainly make this stuff work a lot better. So I would expect to see a load of improvements in 2023, yeah. Do you think we will see the Vandal reworks with the release of 4.0? Oh, good question. Like, I don't know why they haven't put those Vandal reworks in game already in Vandal Swarm. It might be because they're like, don't need to do it yet. Maybe it's effectively they're entirely new ships and they haven't finished doing their sort of AI for them. But yeah, I'd love to see the Vandal ships, the Scythe and I can't remember its name. Not Cleaver. Scythe and the other one. Oh my God, why can't I remember? Glaive. God damn it. And the Glaive in Vandal Swarm, I think would be absolutely awesome. It is the Glaive, indeed. Not the Blade. The Blade's already updated. The Driller. It's big. I haven't been covering Star Citizen for 11 years, though. I've only been covering it for 7. And I'm doing pretty well, thanks, Heavy Bob. Bit tired at Christmas, though. I've got to cook for my family. I really enjoy covering Star Citizen as a project, warts and all. And my horse in the race is to cover the project. Not to overly defend CIG or whatever, but I am hype on Star Citizen. I think I quite like that it's taking a long time to develop. I think I'm a bit monstrous like that. It's sort of, they are producing a load of stuff, they are doing a load of news, and I quite enjoy seeing the ups and downs. As a gamer, and as a player, do I wish that they had moved a lot quicker with development? God, yes! It is very slow, and yeah, as I said, the prioritizations are sometimes a mystery to me. When do you think the Star Map rework is coming? Don't know. I do think we're going to see some UI updates, potentially Star Map stuff, coming in 2023. But, with the cargo factor, do you think that someone like item cargo crates or other non-sellable utility things will be able to be stackable into cargo bays? Eventually, yes. So there will be loads of stuff that you'll be able to stack and put into boxes eventually. It's an evolution of what they wanted to do with grabby hands and the sort of snapping cargo there. Have I ever thought about switching game? I'm in with Star Citizen for the long run, like 100%. Like I enjoy doing it. I might do other games as well in the future, or some more channels and stuff. I enjoy covering Star Citizen. I'm sort of I want to get all the way through. I owe it to the fans. How is soft death going to affect some of the events like Xenothreat? Will the bigger ships soft death, can they be boarded? So, soft death combined with death of spaceman is going to be very interesting because lots of people are going to be fighting and then boop, they're going to want pickup. They're going to want rescue if they get their ships destroyed or damaged, yeah? So that's interesting. Also, salvage in Xenothreat. That's going to have a load of people wanting to salvage those sort of combat zones. Lone One, you think they'll ever do specialized versus of the MSR? A specialized version of the MSR? Obviously you'll be able to customize it to a good degree. I don't think they're going to further specialize it. I haven't heard anything like that. I do love the Microstar now. But you're able to customize it a lot. Atlas Gaming, how much do you actually play Star Citizen versus work on videos? That's a good question. It does change based on sort of time of the year and when patches and stuff are out. I play Star Citizen a lot more during a sort of a PTU testing cycle and when live patches just come out and during events. And a lot of the other time I cover news and just play a lot less. So it goes from sort of like maybe a couple of dozen or 2 dozen hours a week when I'm sort of busy playing Star Citizen to only a few hours a week when stuff's very quiet. You look like you just ran an undercover op. It's the turtleneck, isn't it? Love you, ugly mug. Hope you have good holidays, mate. I hope everyone here has a great Christmas and New Year. Genuinely, I hope you have had an okay 2022. And it's been a shitty time for a lot of people. I hope it's a much better 2023 for a load of you. With the cargo factor, do you think that something like, that's what we talked about a minute ago, the Vulture still says the weapon is to be decided on the website. I believe it's just going to be 2 little badger boys. I think. J-Bird, love you, and Zin BoredGamer. Please keep doing what you're doing. Half of us will be lost in the negative channels without you. No worries. I mean, I'm planning to cover Star Citizen for many more years. There's a lot more Star Citizen development that it's got to give. But yeah, I'm in it for the long run. I mean, I do other stuff as well. I run other companies and things. I might eventually do other games. But this channel... so what I actually would like to do at some point is I'm a lover of board games, and originally BoredGamer was going to be doing board games as well as computer games. So eventually I'll probably do board gamey stuff as well. But probably not on the main channel. Do sub-channels and stuff for that. Yeah, so the Microstar run at the moment has a bug where it can only have 6 SCU of cargo. Not ideal. So even after the game releases, the plan... So after the game releases, there'll still be news to cover and patches and updates and stuff going on with Star Citizen. But I'll plan to do a lot more in-game stuff and talk about sort of battles and orgs and the economy and all that sort of jazz. So a lot more in-game news, yeah. Is the Reclaimer soloable? Not really if you want to run cargo. If you want to run salvage on it. Because you need to move the salvage boxes. You need to go to an area, get into one of the turrets. You might as well just run a Vulture in that situation. If I start a gang and game, would you be my negotiator? Love the Brit to do the talking. Not when I can't say words. I can record some lines for you and just play them. Is there any difference in performance in 3.18 patch? It's too erratic at the moment, the patch, to be able to work that out. I certainly haven't had bad performance when I've been playing it, though. What else have we got? Any thoughts on if the hull D&E will have traversable spine internally while extended to get to the engine portion? That's a really ruddy good point. I'm assuming it's a corridor. I assume it is traversable spine and the larger ones. But I haven't actually thought about it. Just EVA out, I suppose. Just need airlocks and EVA out. Do you know... Do you think now that we have the cargo factory in game, will we get hangars in game? So that's one of the things I think we'll get in 2023. Persistent hangars, sort of, and hangar management sort of improvements, and them starting to move towards sort of customizable HABs as well. push-pull coming in 3.19. Quite possibly. There's a load of EVA and character action work going on early part of next year. So a lot of the tone of next year and their development and their plans for ships and all that sort of jazz, we can expect to see February 8th. They'll sort of give us a big update on what's going on with the roadmap then. If you're going, well, are we going to have this worked on? Are we going to have that worked on? Well, we can see the roadmap as it stands at the moment, but expect a big reprioritization and a much more of a confirmation of what the actual plan is. Really like your content. When do you think we'll see any news about the Meadow Matchman? It's a good question. I do think that it's possible, because I think there's at least 13 people working on the Meadow Matchman at the moment. So if they don't reprioritize that, we could have it by the end of next year. Yes, you can still, you will be able to buy the Vulcan with real money. It'll occasionally go on sale a few times throughout next year. I think it will probably go on sale during Fleet Week in May because it's a logistics ship. Do you expect to eventually have a sandbox version of the game so people can do their own custom servers and mods? That was supposed to be a stretch goal, so hopefully see a lot of cool total conversion and modding that could be done with Star Citizen. What concept should be most looking forward to be in game? Short-term Spirit, because I really like the Spirit. I mean, things like the Pioneer, pretty exciting. Mercury Star Runner is my boy, but obviously that's flyable. So, Banner Merchantman's cool. Pioneer, I just desperately want a game because of its mechanics. Oh, I do love the Perseus. Got a soft spot for the Perseus. Any idea when counterclass ships will be in game? So to put them in game realistically, they want the resource management system in and really server meshing in to sort of justify the large amounts of players on them. I haven't been trying to sell the RMC canisters. I've only been selling the RMC actual crates. That's a good point. I haven't tried to sell the sort of salvage ammo, as it were. Idris, Polaris, or Banu Merchman, what do you think we'll see in the game flyable first? Oh, that's... I don't know. Obviously, people can sort of semi-hijack an Idris now. I mean, it doesn't have the interior. You currently see a risk versus reward factor with salvage. Is there any advantage to salvaging in the middle of a battle versus salvaging at a quiet Lagrange point? No, not at the moment. So, at the moment, go to the quiet places so that you don't get shot at. But in the future, when they make salvage potentially more valuable and maybe harder to find in Lagrange points... you're going to want to salvage those battle sites after they're done. Also, I do want to see different values of sort of materials, and they haven't diversified the materials yet. It's very possible that they'll release the OpenPTU today, but there are still problems with the PTU. As I said, a lot of those problems may be able to be solved by them opening up to more servers and more regions. You said a while ago you are looking to live near Manchester. Well, so I'm... Potentially. So I can sort of live wherever I want in the UK and do what I do work-wise. And realistically, getting houses up north is a lot cheaper than down here in the south. So I was looking at potentially Leeds because I've got lots of friends that live in Leeds. It's pretty close to the Manchester studios. Houses are very cheap there. You can sell salvage, yeah. You can sell salvage boxes. Yeah. Very much in game at the moment. And they're trying to balance exactly how much money you can make from them. So they want to make the Reclaimer make a lot of money, fully crewed, things like that. Is there a roadmap project plan on updating the ship components, layouts of older ships, and new design standards? So they've talked about it. It's a priority at the moment. Sort of reworking all these ships. They're doing the Squadron 42 ones at the moment. It's sort of roughly part of the resource management system, but they are going through and making all the ships gold standard, and making sure they've got the places for physical components, and then they're going to be building onto that. There's no specific card for that, I don't think, but might see that with the roadmap update in February. Yeah, there needs to be tweaks to salvage so that you can't exploit the system. Sort of legitimate salvage versus ships that you aren't supposed to have salvaged. Who has the right to salvage? That sort of stuff needs to be sorted somehow. When are we going to be able to add player-controlled ships like the size of a Star Destroyer, but it's more of a mobile base for large clans? So there are obviously large capital ships and stuff in game that they want to get in. That's probably going to happen after 4.0. Have you seen quantum additions to for 3.18 with changes to the economy? Other than adding a few sort of new things with salvage and that sort of jazz, I haven't noticed any quantum updates there. Quanta updates, dynamic universe updates. Doesn't mean there's not any. It's just I have not noticed any. There wasn't any build for 3.18 either. When using the Vulture, is the only way to move your dispensed IMC box with a tractor beam? Yes, you need to use a tractor beam. It's really annoying. Can't move it by hand, no, because the one at SCU boxes need to be moved via tractor beam. Do you think the upcoming AI improvements will work, or will we see NPCs standing on chairs again? Hopefully they'll work. Like, it's a mixture of server degradation, server tick problems, and the basically legacy AI and NPCs not really being updated much in the persistent universe, but Squadron 42 getting a load of sort of this NPC and AI work that will eventually drip into persistent universe when it's ready. They go bam, and now we're releasing it all. That's what it looks like to me. Obviously they showed a lot of stuff for that at CitizenCon. Do you think Star Citizen will work more on NPC interaction and side missions for NPCs, etc.? Because I'm feeling like the game's city NPCs and ad space NPCs make them feel less alive. There does need to be more things to do, and more NPCs to interact with, and loads more missions and side missions and all that sort of jazz. And my friend backed for like 1,400 euros and is banned for life because of a chat fight in game. He did have a warning, but still, others talk shit, you talk shit back. Maybe, I don't know the context of exactly what he said. And if he was getting warnings, he must have been pretty toxic. There's certain stuff you shouldn't say or can't say. Is he banned from the game or just banned from using chat? Because what I would have said is ban him from using the chat service. Could we potentially see the release of the Kraken after the marketplace of the merchantman is sorted, or are more mechanics required? So, with the Kraken, they need to have more people working on it. So that's the sort of thing that needs to be done there. It's a massive ship as well, so probably that sort of thing is going to be done after 4.0. Game ban, that's really harsh. But again, I don't know the context of what he said. So, if it's anything that was illegal, or incredibly toxic, after he's already had a warning, I can see that happening. I mean, Rymos, Merry Christmas board. It isn't much, but just know we appreciate your dedication to the best mess out there. That is Star Citizen. Much love across the pond. Thank you very much. And that's very much appreciated. And thank you very much for that big old donation. You beautiful boy. Could we potentially see the release of the Kraken after the marketplace of the merchantman is sorted? Yes, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I do want the Kraken in game sooner rather than later. I think it's a great idea to have NPCs, sort of pirates, spawn out of it, and like it be a pirate base that you can sort of take on if you can find it. How far do you think Squadron 42 Chapter 1 is? I'm hoping we get it. Realistically, they could announce it at next year's CitizenCon for release the year after. So, 2024. Oh, Squadron 42, why do you hate me? So, if Squadron 42 had... Okay. Squadron 42 could have been released much earlier if they hadn't increased the scope of the game. So, when we saw the Bishop speech in, 2015, it was more viable for them to release that game within 2 years. If they just went, bam, let's go with what we got, and not update anything else, sort of mechanically, just sort of try and polish and iron stuff out. They've just gone off and expanded hugely what they wanted to do with the game, the way it looks, the just this universe, loads more ships, massively expanding studios. Like the scope creep is real, but it's not really not vaporware or feature creep or feature bloats in the same way, because they are afforded enough time and money to be able to do it. So those sort of dreams become a reality. It's just a very long reality. It's a bit of a slog to get there. I appreciate all the kind words. Thank you so much. Is 3.18 OpenPTU coming out today? It is quite possible, and there's no confirmation from Cloud Imperium, but this was their target, try and get an OpenPTU out. They don't need the OpenPTU to be in the best state, but they probably want it to be in a better state than the PTU has been in. So let's see if they can get a good build out. But as I've said a few times, they can alleviate a lot of the problems with the PTU potentially by not having the servers overloaded. So opening up to more servers, more regions, that might just solve a lot of the problems. So the level of scope creep is not necessarily down to mismanagement and incompetence. The poor dates and the lack of communication is. And certainly the early days of Star Citizen can be characterized by a lot of teething issues, mismanagement, problems, lots and lots of things there, for sure. They've got a lot better at it now since they've expanded their company out and got better sort of higher ups in charge of the particular departments. Yeah, so I think that the scope creep and sort of expansion is just a result of them getting a huge amount more money and going, well, let's make a bigger game then. Let's make a better game then. And there's Chris Roberts sort of like being a bit arrogant in the, well, I just want to make the best game possible, full stop. Okay, cool. But we do want a full-on game eventually, right? And in a manner, an amount of time that's not going to, like, mean that we never get to play it in our lifetimes. Now, one of the ways that they sort of, Cloud Imperium's sort of believe like this is go, well, we'll just have a live development and a playable alpha, which we keep on updating. So it is playable now. It's just you're going to have to wait a good few years before it's like version 1.0. So that's the project. That's what it's doing. We can talk about what they've done poorly in the past, which is many things, especially before sort of 2017 realistically. And there's a lot of problems there, a lot of I think inefficiency, and you could certainly say mismanagement. I think that's a fair characterization. That's got a lot better. Any insight on whether the Scorpius will be available for Alpha UBC in 3.18? I was expecting it to be. It's one of the ones I was going to check. They have not confirmed which is available. Vehicles and ships are available to purchase in game. Do you think there will be a salvaging ground vehicle? Yes, I think there will be a multi-role salvager tower vehicle. Yes. But demonstrably, Star Citizen is not a scam in any form. However, there have been issues and the sort of the feature creep, the slow development, the the delays. That they're not great. But I love the project ports and all. I quite enjoy playing Star Citizen now. And when I get invited to do stuff with like larger orgs, and I get to mess around with lots of different groups of people and get sort of involved in all these different events. Star Citizen is a fantastically beautiful game, and it's trying to do this huge MMO experience, which I think it's not doing yet because of the way the servers are sort of cut up and the gameplay's not there yet to support that. But I mean, it's certainly getting there. I mean, it's making good headway now. Fucking love Star Citizen. What do I think needs to be added before the Pioneers in-game? That's a good question. So, we need server meshing. Because we need the servers and the shards to work out where bases are. And really, that's... And then for them just to build out the Rastar tool. That's the only things you would need. So, then that would enable you to... You don't need a Pioneer to build a base. And the Pioneer is going to be like a larger style factory. So you need all that base building gameplay in there first. And then have the Pioneer support that. Really, they're probably going to want to be able to have land claims and surveying in there as well. So there's quite a lot of that gameplay loop. It's going to be a few years out before we have proper base building and all the sort of mechanics there. You think personally that we'll see working server meshing before 2024? So I think we could see the static server meshing before that. Yes, I think persistent entity streaming is a huge step towards it. There's a load more work they'll want to do after that, though, going towards dynamic server meshing and even just dialing in static server meshing. So realistically, people don't call Star Citizen a scam anymore. It might be done as a meme or just sort of like a response to a troll sort of response to annoy people. Yeah. It's realistically, people know it's not a scam, but there are actual things you can criticize Star Citizen on, which are fair to criticize Star Citizen on for sure. Right. Can we use tractor beams to form a train of ships? You suppose you'll be able to create a convoy, technically, with SRVs pulling each other eventually. You've got powerful enough tractors, question mark. It's a Ponzi scheme, not a scam. Nice. It's actually based on a trapezoid, not a... Oh. I've not noticed any powerful differences with Gen 12, but I've got quite a good computer anyway. So I certainly was not CPU bottlenecking. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the kind words. I really love voice attack. I have not set it up for the last like 6 months or so. I need to actually sort that out. I need to sort that out and tweak some stuff with my Tobii eye tracker. You suspect the Odyssey will release for the Pirate? I think the Odyssey is probably a bit further out than that. I have not heard them starting to work on it, no. Rick Samuels, thank you so much for the donation. That is very much appreciated. You beautiful boy. Thank you. Oh, you star. Thank you, thank you. Any other questions I can answer quick? I really like the idea of a salvaging ground vehicle. I think there'll be a load of vehicles that cover all of the sort of mechanics that we have in game. CIG just posted on Spectrum that you can make the multi-tool and some of its attachments from the salvage ships. Oh, that is actually confirmed now. Okay, that's pretty cool. Even if it's just for short term. A read. Let's have a quick read of this before we go. We're expecting a PTU server client hotfix at some point this morning. Help with okay, that's good. Luminalia. Salvage, hull scraping. Temporary solution. Okay, let's have a read. What's this? Yesterday. Hey ho, we just did a bigger change to the filler station that will hopefully make a lot of you happy. My submit came a little late, so you might have to wait a little longer for it. But for the time being, here's a screenshot update. You will now be able to create a multi-tool tractor beam attachment, salvage repair attachment, and salvage repair can all be done from the filler station crafting tab. So that is really cool. And that's awesome to know that they can add that sort of stuff super easily into game. So expect crafting to be in game then in some form. Like they've got crafting there effectively, because it's made out of the recycled materials composite, assumedly. That's really cool. I can certainly talk about that a lot in the future. I need to have a look and because they can do that for a huge amount of stuff. And the fact that they can basically have replicators and 3D printers in game for that sort of purpose, sort of dispensing things, creating things, that's going to be super useful for like exploration ships. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a whole new video as well. But that's really awesome to know. I really love that. Do you know any reason why they don't have personal navigation as a thing? Why don't we have a simple coordinate system to coordinate with other people? So, totally agree. I want to be able to coordinate with other people, set waypoints on the map, have everyone go to that waypoint that I've set, share info. Game needs that. It's needed for ages. The same along with sort of org features and stuff. Just at a glance, I can tell what org you're in and things like that. So there's a load of little quick things that I would have expected Cloud Imperium to put in early. They seem to be rewriting whole systems for them, and like we're doing a whole new mini map and star map system, which it is included in that, but we're releasing it all as one thing. And it's like, okay. Where are you basing post wipe and why? Probably Orison, just because a load of the content is based around Crusader, of that new stuff. Right. I am. To answer. Am I also a beautiful boy, Daddy? Crypto.finance. I mean, what a name. Good job. Yeah, why not? You're a beautiful boy too. Thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. Blue Steel. I don't think I've asked you about them redoing the Freelancer enough this year. What's the biggest upgrade to the Freelancer you want to see? Also, happy holidays. Thank you very much. That's very, very much appreciated. I'm not a fan of the Freelancers. I don't like the way they look. I don't like the way they stack up against the Cutlass. I don't know. I would like them to give the Freelancer a bit of a tweak and a bit of a change. But some people like the Freelancer already, so yeah, I'd have to really think about it. Blue Steel. I would like them to change it. I think though I want them to be a bit better than a Cutlass Black. Yeah? And for me to want to fly them. Anything else I can see? Would you please try to have a restful and Merry Christmas? Yes, I will try. I am cooking, though. Do you think Gundams will ever exist? So I do think we'll see the Titans in Star Citizen. We will see those beautiful the armored suits. Do you think Pyro will be released in 2023? That their plan is to have it Q3, Q4, more likely Q4 of 2023. I have no idea what size those physical USBs that they promised ages ago will be. Obviously, they want them to have the game on. So pretty big. Boom. Right. I am going to send you guys someone else's Twitch channel so they can entertain you. They entertain. Or if I'm entertaining or just sort of talking at you. I will send you over to the beautiful old salty Mike. What a salty individual, but I love him. He's a genuinely good friend. Right. He is a lot more Star Citizen critical than I am, though I think he's been enjoying 3.18's content. Maybe not so much the implementation of the PTU currently, just because it's a bit, hellish. But, thank you very much for watching today. Very much appreciated. You guys take care. I will. 1 second. Let me actually give you his link as well, rather than just raid him through that. So bam, bam, bam. Thank you very much. Genuinely appreciate it. Oh, how? Hope you have a great Christmas, guys.